Hi, Gurdarshan. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Just getting ready to go.
How does it feel?
It's been a long process. It's been a long camp. It's been a lot of sacrifices, a lot of time off, 17 months off, coming back. Um, a lot of sitting in my room thinking about a lot of different things, nonstop thoughts, and just now it's just time to go. Just time to represent.
Yeah, and how was COVID for you? You might have, quarantined and stuff. How was that?
It's been strict here in Singapore. It's been very strict. We're locked to our rooms. We get out for about an hour or two a day, and that's just to train. The protocols are very strict in Singapore, so there's even security at the end of the hallway. That's literally, if they see us leaving, they're standing there. So we can only see our corner that came with us. We can't go see other fighters. I have friends here that are in the hotel and stuff, like teammates and stuff. Can't go say hi to them. Can't hang out with them. Everybody is very separated. And that's it. That's it's. I've kept myself busy, but I enjoy loneliness. So that's the thing about me. I know a lot of fighters are mentally kind of breaking down now. I enjoy isolation. That's probably why I enjoy fighting, because it's just me and they're alone. So if you can enjoy that, I'm not gonna say enjoy it, but I can handle it.
Right.
I'm okay.
All right. So how is you training for this camp, for this particular fight?
It was good. The training was good. The only thing is, when I was heading to Singapore, I had trained for a completely different opponent. But during these COVID times, things can change real quick, and that's exactly what happened to me. I landed here. I found out my opponent had tested positive, and they had to find somebody last minute replacement. And it happened to be Roshan, who lives in Singapore, trains at Evolve, and is somebody that I've mentored, somebody that I've guided, somebody that I actually spoke to one championship about bringing into one championship, and then helped him get into Evolve. And now here we are, coming full circle, and now we're fighting each other. We had spent some time in Mumbai where we had done the reality show out there. We had done the SFL show, and that's where I saw him as a very strong wrestler, very strong future ahead of him. And I spoken to him. I'm like, listen, don't give up, stick with this. Just not knowing that a few years down the road we'd be standing across from each other. And I don't think he expected it either, but the opportunity presented itself to him. He grabbed it. I have nothing but respect for that. I probably would have done the same thing in his situation. But the crappy thing is, he has to stand across from me now, and he has to face me, and I'm not anybody's stepping stone for the next generation yet.
So there's a little bit of familiarity, but there's also a bit of, tension going on, is it? Because you've already known each other for this long.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm trying to put the emotion out of it, but I do consider him like a little brother in there. But just like my real little brother, I beat him up all the time too, right? So it's gonna be kind of like the older brother teaching the little brother that, listen, man, like, you're strong, you're strong physically, but the experience and the way that I mentally function inside a cage and the way that I fight, I'm very mentally there, and that levels to this game. That's what experience brings you. I've fallen, I've risen, I've fought back from things. When I was 25, I didn't have the experience that I had, and I wasn't mature as I am now. And he's 25 right now, and I don't think he's there either. But as far as physically and skills and stuff, he's there. But it becomes a bit different when you mature in the cage with all the things that you go through, and that takes time. And I've been in this game for a long time now, and I think that finally is paying off for me.
Is there any fighter you want to particularly face in future? And is there something that you're particularly looking for, like in a person or in a fighter?
The only person I want to face is the person holding the belt. So whoever it is, whether it's Adriano Morales, I think it's probably going to take one or two fights for me now. After this one, maybe one more after this one. And then hopefully India opens up and I fight for the flyweight title in Mumbai, and create a perfect storybook ending of this kid that was an accountant, became a world champion, in one of the biggest major organizations, and that's it. And I said, I'll sell the story to Yash Raj Films or whoever wants to do it. Rimdir can play Saint Lion. You know, it is what it is. So uh, that's it.
That'll be pretty fun, actually. You know, moving away from, I mean, from a background where you did not have any MMA, you know, prior anybody to support you or, you know, tell you, or you didn't have any background in MMA, and then you moved on to something that was completely, you know, unexpected, and then to, you know, grow this much. It's a good thing. It's a huge thing. And not a lot of people are able to, you know, get over that and, you know, have that really strong mindset to be able to, you know, make that shift from, you know, normal corporate jobs to something that is like MMA.
Exactly, and I was made to believe that also, that that wasn't possible. I was taught to believe that, and I don't know what it was inside of me that chose not to believe that. I spent 20 years believing exactly that, and something at 21, 22 kind of was like, no, it's probably not like that. And to take a chance against my family's wishes, my community's wishes, to go against almost everything. Because when I started this, MMA was associated with like gang affiliation or something to do with anger issues or something. Nobody understood what MMA was. I started in 2007 when mixed martial arts wasn't even legal in Canada. I had been made illegal, so I was having to go to the U.S. and fight on small shows when nobody knew about. And now to come, and when I first fought in India was 15,000 people in 2011 at IGI Stadium in New Delhi, and the reason 15,000 people showed up is because Bobby Lashley from the WWE was in it, and he was coming into MMA, and everybody thought the fight was going to be like pro wrestling. It was fixed. It wasn't real, because all the media I did after that, they're like, how did you guys know who was going to win? I'm like, that was a real fight that I was in on the weekend. Like this isn't made up. That's real. So just the education process from the beginning to where we're at now, and how Indian fans understand what jiu-jitsu is, kickboxing is, what make an actual real contrast than just kind of saying weird things. It's really cool to see.
Because this cannot be scripted. There is no way in hell you can script anything in MMA.
You'd be able to read, you'd be able to tell right away if it was being scripted. And MMA is just so real, right? It's really hard to. You can always tell if somebody's throwing a fight or something. So in MMA, it's very tough. In boxing, I can see it happening, but MMA, it's hard to do.
So how do you see the fight with Roshan ending? What do you think is going to happen?
I haven't been in the cage in 17 months, so
Right.
I don't think cage rust exists, but I wouldn't mind the 15 minutes. I don't know. I'm not going to say I'd rather get out of there pretty quick. I don't like wrestlers. But I think it's just going to come down to how badly I want it. I think it's going to come down to, it's always my mindset. My mindset breaks people. I'm always if I get into my pattern, if I get into my form, you're always going to be one step behind me. You're not going to feel like the same fighter in there with me. I know Roshan's been dominating guys, like, taking them down, TKO, full control. If Roshan starts backstepping on me, like starts walking back, that's going to be it. Like I'm just going to keep that pressure on. I can do that. I train in elevation out in Las Vegas. I'm 1,500 meters up for 8 weeks straight. So when I get down to sea level in Singapore, my lungs are just full of air. So I don't get tired. But it has been 17 months. And I think it's just going to be, I think he's going to want to take me down, and he's going to see that, listen, this guy's wrestling is actually good too. And I think I'm going to take everything away from him. That's it. And then it's going to be up to him how badly he wants to stay in there and how long he wants to stay there. I do believe he has a lot of heart. I don't think he will give up. But yeah, it's the big brother versus little brother in this one.
That's good. So this is going to be scheduled on Saturday, right? So you have 2 more days. So how are your days going to be planned out? What have you planned out in these 2 days? Is there some mental preparation that goes behind this entire scenario where you'll be fighting? Do you do something in particular? Like, do you manifest something, or is there like a ritual? Some people like to have things that, these things and things they do before they fight. So is there something that you do?
I just visualize a lot. I start cutting my family out. I don't talk to really anybody. Conversations become very one worded. Um, I really start disconnecting. One crazy thing that I do is, and I didn't even think it was crazy until somebody saw me doing it, because crazy things become normal if you do them enough times, is that I'll watch documentaries of lions hunting, and and I'll sit there and I'll just watch it. I'll just see lions hunting zebras, gazelles, and stuff like that, and I'll just brainwash myself. I literally will brainwash myself. I'll watch a lot of Muhammad Ali footage. I like to say that I like to dance in the ring, so I like to watch him a lot. Also, a lot of the rings that he fought in were white canvases, so I always visualize, because the one championship canvas is white. Uh, so just a lot of visualizing for myself, just believing in myself, saying a lot of things to myself, not letting any negative thoughts creep in, and just kind of disconnecting and staying within myself. I'm um, I'm enjoying staying on social media this time around, but usually I'm not. Around this time is just the fan love is so amazing, and I want to make sure everybody knows when it's happening and they can tune in, because it's a big moment for all of us. Um, but I think I'll be shutting that down very quick now too. Um, Now it's just time to mentally just check out, and the next time you'll see me is in the cage.
Right. There are so many young fighters coming up in India. What advice do you have for them? What do you have to say to them?
The advice that I give them, and I give this to everybody, that like my DMs are full of the same question over and over. Where do I start? What do I do? What do I do this? The first question that or the first answer I always give is an answer that they usually don't want to hear, or not going to say they don't want to hear, but they don't expect to hear, because they expect me to tell them, start in jiu-jitsu, start in this, start in that. But my first question is, why do you want to do this? What is your why? Because if you don't have a strong why for this, you're not going to survive in the sport. I'm telling you, because the kind of roadblocks you hit in mixed martial arts when nobody's watching, most people don't go through it, because almost everybody that I started with in 2007, 2008 is no longer doing it. They've gone and gotten married, they've become something else, they've become real estate agents, they've gone and gotten normal jobs, because it's hard to survive in this sport. Because there's not a lot of finances to be made at the starting, if ever. It depends on where you get to. It depends on what kind of sponsorship or what you do with your name and stuff like that. It's not like boxing or other sports where there's millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
It's you have to know why you're doing it. If you're doing it to get into clubs and pick up women or something, you're not going to make it. You're just, it's not going to be worth it. When a guy is choking you out every day when you go into training and punching you in the head, you're going to be like, yo, screw this, I'll figure out something else. But for myself personally, my why is what's carried me through. I've said, I want to represent my people. I want to represent the underdog. I want to represent the kid that was told he couldn't become something. I want to represent the kid that was able to drop what his parents always taught him, become an engineer, doctor, accountant, and drop that and actually believe in what he is and who he is and grow his spirit. And look where we made it, to the biggest world stage. And that's what's always brought me back. When I wanted to give up, I've always kind of put guilt on myself that it's selfish for me to give up, because this is more than about me at this point. I want myself the vehicle for the motivation I'm trying to give to my people, but this is it's bigger than about me. So if I give up, that's just a selfish act on my hand, because I get all the DMs. I see all the, you're an inspiration, I'm your biggest fan. I see this, I see. So for me to give up on them, that's pretty selfish of me. So that's what always brings me back. My vision board that says why I was ever doing this brings me back. So that's why my why is so strong, and it's carried me 14 years in this game, right? If my why wasn't strong, I can see probably the first or second year I would have given this up. Probably wouldn't have made it this far, because it got real hard after the second year, to the point where I had $5 in my pocket, where I couldn't feed myself. Nobody was sponsoring me because nobody respected the sport. Nobody liked it. Like wealthy Indian people that I could have got sponsorship always shut the door on me. I had to get 3-4 jobs, had to work 8-hour shifts and stuff like that, then go train. Had had to go through all that, and it was my why that carried me through. So what I say to youth is make sure the reason you're doing it is strong enough to make you want to. The rest of it will fall into pieces. It will fall into place. But if the reason you're doing it is not strong enough, you're not going to make it regardless. Because getting punched in the face day in and day out, you got to believe in something strong to want to do that every single day.
Right. But also, I think that, because of, fighters like you who are, actively trying and, putting efforts into representing the country and, doing all these things, going out of their way to motivate, everybody who wants to join the sport, India has seen a shift in perspective of how people view MMA as. Now they don't think that, it's just about wrestling or about boxing. They know that there is, there's a difference between kickboxing and boxing and jiu-jitsu. So it's happening. Slowly it's happening. I see people around me having active conversations about these things. And it's great to hear.
It's amazing because they also know there's different promotions in the UFC and stuff like that, and one championship is just as good, if not like some of the weight classes. I think the weight class I'm in the flyweights, it's better than the UFC. I think the best pound for fighter, Demetrius Johnson, is number 2 in flyweight, where he dominated the UFC, and just I think it's the most stacked weight class in the world. It's the most dangerous weight class to be in. And for people to see the difference in that, and for them to see different promotions, it's amazing. And because I've seen the conversations from 2007 to now. I've seen the questions I've gotten. I've seen the things and the questions have gone more and more intelligent as years have gone on, because the fans are getting more intelligent. The Indian fans are learning more. So I've seen the progress. I can go back to 2007 and see what people were asking me to what people are asking me now. So I've definitely seen the progress, and it's been cool to be part of the whole ride. And I'm glad I'm still part of it. If I'd given up, I probably would have been sitting on the couch waiting on this one championship card, watching somebody else taking my spot. But I'm glad I get to be part of this, and I've been part of it from the start.
It's great. We all, see you inspire us every day, and we want to do better because of what we see and, what we hear. And we're really excited for the championship. And we will all tune in on this Saturday. And is there anything you want to add?
I just want, like you were just saying, how the fans are coming along and stuff, even for yourself, like seeing a female Indian journalist and stuff like that in MMA, it's super cool to see, because you didn't even see that, and let alone a female Indian fighter. When I started, there was no Ritu, there wasn't even no Arjun or anything like that. I was just this guy kind of doing a solo, and now to see that, and then see yourself and stuff like that, getting involved in stuff into mixed martial arts and knowing the sport and interviewing fighters and stuff, it's awesome. It's like, I don't even know what it will look like 5 years from now. I truly believe we can have so many multiple champions and so many multiple organizations, and even journalists such as yourself, commentating desk and stuff like that. Sky's the limit, man. I always said, just find belief in yourself. Just believe in who you are and the DNA you are and the roots you have. We are no less than anything. I remember when I started, everyone's like, what if you face a Mexican fighter? What if you face an African-American fighter? They'll beat you up. I'm like, why? Why do you think that? Because we had this thing in our head that they're just so much stronger. I'm like, have you ever looked into your own DNA and seen what kind of warrior DNA? I'm sure I can beat them. And I've fought all different kind of races, and I've fought all different kinds of people, and I've come out on top. And I've shown it fight by fight that we are just as good. And I want my people to believe that in whatever field they're in. Don't ever give up your spot because you think we're not on that level. And it's like, it's this mindset that our own people had for a while of making, I used to get messages like, dude, you're going to get your ass kicked. Like, do you understand we're weak? We're this. Why do you think we're weak? It's because you've never tested yourself. You've always lived a life of comfort. It's not until you step out of it, you realize just how strong we truly are. And I hope we keep realizing that.
I think people are also very insecure, and they're fearful when it comes to these things, because first of all, it's very, draining in all ways. It's, exhausting mentally, emotionally, and physically. And the kind of endurance you have to build and the kind of mindset you have to build for a sport like this is extremely hard. And that's why people tend to, sort of project their own insecurities. If they think they won't be able to do it, that's when they probably, start, sending out DMs and things like that, messages to people saying, hey, you won't be able to do it because even I don't think I can. They won't probably say it out aloud, but that is what they will think. And I think
Yeah.
the internet culture has made it so okay for anybody to say, all these negative things to other people. And that is only going to happen when people start reflecting on their own selves and see fighters as yourself fighting and, doing well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Irrespective of what the outcome is going to be, we are very, very optimistic about how the entire fight, it's going to be a great fight to watch.
Yeah, yeah, of course. It's just one step at a time. It's like, when one person does it, then millions of other believe it, and it just keeps breaking itself. Um, Insecurities, yeah, that's where haters come from. That's where all that comes from, and you almost have to build your mindset to be able to block that. I'm at an age now where that stuff doesn't affect me the way it used to when I was much younger. When I started, when everyone's opinion I was looking for, I
Right.
just I just don't care anymore. I don't give a shit. I'm really am at a point where I'm just doing me. I've done more than most of the people when I started with ever thought I would do. They didn't even think I would make it out of a local promotion.
Right.
Here I'm at the top of a promotion, and I've just been challenging myself. It's me versus me every single day, 1% better every day, and that's what I've been doing years and years and years on end. And that's all I ever will keep doing.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Gurdarshan. We really look forward to the fight on Saturday. And we'll all be tuning in, definitely. And we can't wait for you to perform. All right, then. I'll see you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so
Okay.
much. Bye.